see the light now. Just don't let it go. The lyric still makes me weep. For all those moments that it's so hard for us singularly, seeming that we're alone, to remember that truth. No matter how much theology courses we've taken, or how many unity classes, or how much we are steeped in this. I remember 12 years ago, my dad called, and my sister was in big trouble. My baby sister was in big trouble of addiction. And I was in recovery at the time, and my father's calling me, trying to figure out what we're going to do. And luckily, being a family, it means we were able to get her on a plane and get her to a private treatment facility. But I picked her up. It was the same one I had gone to in Pennsylvania. And when I picked her up at the airport, she got off the plane and she was 90 pounds and was missing teeth, and it was just so frightening. And I went to the store with her. We got her things that she was going to need, and then drove her out to Pennsylvania. And after I collapsed in tears, when I was home, my father called, and we were talking about it, and he said, Cindy is all alone. Cindy is all alone in the world. And I said, no, Dad, that's not true. We know, you know, I know. She always has God. She always is supported. She's not acting like it right now. It's scary, but she's not alone. And there's this incredible dance that happens when we can awaken to that truth, because we then stop having to fix everything, right? And it allows us just to be with someone. And we all know this, right? When someone's with you, not trying to fix you, it's so much more pleasant. Right? So, Cindy's fine. Spoiler, she made it through her treatment plan. She has still raising her family, still lives in Louisiana. I'm going to see her next week. And you met her son, Connor, who was here for the christening of Joshua recently. That's Cindy's son, who's an amazing young man. So, hard to see the light now. Things will come out right now. We can make it so. It takes a village, and it takes all of us remembering that God is constantly at work, even when we can't see it, even when the person we love isn't behaving like that, even when we're not behaving that way. There is a divine presence. It's our first principle. There is only one power and one presence active and working in the universe and in our lives. God. One power. That means that we are all completely, wholly part of that one power we call God, that energy, that life force, that evolutionary energy constantly trying to move up. There's not one part of you, not one single toenail, one microscopic molecule part of you that isn't part of the divine. Right? Eric Butterworth said it 50 years ago. God is not in you like a raisin is in a bun. Paul Hasselbeck says it like, God is not in you like a hot dog, like a wiener is in a bun. Right? You are part of God wholly. Right? You are the divine in expression. And as Misa sang from that beautiful song, I am divinity defined. I am God in this body. And when we can operate from that understanding, from that deep knowing that everything is available to me, we stop this I can't Deanne talked about I can't last week, right? I can't. You know, so much we put up. It becomes our affirmation. I can't do that. I don't have time. Too much. Da-da-da-da. My other sister, one of my other sisters, was forced to recite a poem to my father as a Father's Day present. Saying it's Family Day here for me. It's like, and it was. I can still remember it because she wrote it out. She must have been 7 years old and recited it. And it goes like, see if I can remember it. Can't is a word that is foe to ambition, an enemy ambush to shatter your will, and its prey is forever a person with a mission, and it bows but to courage and patience and skill. So it goes on to say, let's take this admonition and answer this demon by saying, I can. I can. Right? That's not a unity poem said in the middle of this nice Catholic family years and years ago, right? That we can shift those words from I can't to I can. I can do this. We can do this. We can step up and lift ourselves. And one of the most amazing things that has ever happened to me in my life is finding the Unity affirmative prayer message, to understand what that means to shift my form of prayer from beseeching and worry to that of knowing of God's presence, of God's skill, of God's power. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but a lot of times, especially here in uber cool San Francisco, we don't want to mention to our friends that we pray, right? Because we might be considered that we are, holy rollers or something like that, right? Or, that's way too Christian for us to say that we pray. And there was even some pushback when we were creating our mission statement that we shouldn't put pray up front because then people may not come, right? We're excluding people that will be turned off by the word prayer. And my answer to that pushback was, well then, if we don't say it and they get here and what we do is pray, won't they feel hoodwinked? Shouldn't we let them know who we are and let them decide if they want to come to us or not? But my understanding of prayer has so fundamentally changed since my discovery of Unity, and understanding that I'm not praying to anything. Do you get that? We're not praying to anything. We're praying knowing, right? We pray knowing. We don't pray to God. We don't pray to something out there to fix something in here or to fix something out there. We pray knowing that God is at work, that the energy, the life force that we call God, and I'm looking at 60 God faces right now, right? 60 different incarnations of the divine, all here ready to help. And looking at all the prayer chaplains in the room, I feel it amplified too. That we are here to pray knowing the higher truth. And that's how we train our prayer chaplains in Unity. If you've never experienced praying with a prayer chaplain, it is life-changing. If you've never taken a affirmative prayer class, I encourage you to take it because it will shift you. We don't pray to change anything on the outside world. We pray to shift us so that our awareness, our consciousness is shifted forever. And when that happens, mountains move. So thank you. One of the things that anchors this so importantly is that prayer chaplains have the obligation to always rise up, to elevate their experience. And, you know, we talk a lot about here about being fully human and fully divine. We are having this human experience. God knows these things are happening in the world, and we feel them. We absolutely feel them. And it is so much fun sometimes to jump into the ain't it awful soup, right? Oh my God, can you believe what they did? Oh my God, can you believe what happened? Oh, there's so much pain. And what we need the prayer chaplains for is when we succumb to that human instinct to elevate us, to defy the pull of that negative impulse and to rise up to the higher ground. So these 16 people here in this lovely community have agreed to hold that higher watch, to rise above the fray and remind us of the truth. So when we find ourselves saying, I can't, or it is so bad, or he's awful, or she's despicable, we can shift again and remember that God is in that person we are cursing with our words, that God is the fullness of that person too. And when we can see them differently, they will be different. There's an old saying by Gandhi that says, you cannot change the mind of anyone who can feel your inner contempt. When we can rise up, defy our base instincts to curse and to blame, we get to be that person we all know who is just above the fray. And then we can step into the world and make it a better place for everyone. One of those people who is that for me is Reverend Deanne. Right? That when I'm going, oh, I can't, not again. And she knows, so she's laughing because she knows I do that. Right? When I have to close the door and go, she lets me scream, and then she reminds me of truth. And I do the same for her. Hers shows up different than mine, but we do this dance for each other. And prayer chaplains can be that person for you. If you haven't developed a relationship with a prayer partner on a daily basis, I invite you to find that person who can be the higher ground for you, like the old Stevie Wonder song, right? Step up to higher ground here, folks. Don't let the pull of the negative, the dark side, bring you in. And remember that prayer is the thing that can elevate you. So we give thanks. Deanne, for the last 3 years, has been leading the prayer chaplain program. And why we have watched it morph into this amazing, amazing group of champions who hold this community daily and weekly. Every Monday morning, they hold a conference prayer call for the financial and fiscal and complete success, the complete whole success of Unity San Francisco. And that's why we are soaring. Right? And that's why we are soaring. That's why we are giving forward, we're paying forward $270,000 in tithe. Yes, I am. Defying gravity. That tells you we can't, we won't, we don't have enough. Fear. Be gone. Can't is a word that is foe to ambition. And we rise up. Would you take a bow?